Christian Networking Entrepreneurs started 5 years ago. This is our 5th anniversary. Myself and Yolanda Hamilton co-founded Christian Networking Entrepreneurs. So I'm going to introduce our new team. So we're revamping, and I'm super excited about that. So first, I'm going to introduce Terry Ann Sylvester, who is our Vice President of Marketing. Give it up for Terry Ann Sylvester. And then next we have our co-chair. Our co-chair for Christian Networking Entrepreneurs is Pastor Charles Payton. Give it up for Pastor Charles Payton. Yes, yes, yes. So Pastor Charles Payton will be over all the live events. So we do live events 4 times a year, 3, 6, 9, and 12. So this is our 6th, but we're doing it in May. So we'll do another one in September and December. And last but not least, we have our wonderful host who hosts our TV show, which is Pastor Shalonda Johnson. Give it up for Pastor Shalonda Johnson. So this is our CNE committee. So we are here to serve you guys and help you in any way that we can. Thank you all for coming to our first event after COVID-19. And I'm going to pass it over to my husband so he can pray over our refreshments and we can network.
Well, again, thank you guys for coming. But y'all know as Christians, what we going to do, we going to pray. We ain't gonna do nothing, not get started until we pray and invite Christ in. Because just because we hear about business, we want to invite Christ into everything that we do. Let's bow our heads in prayer. Father, we just thank you for this opportunity to come together once again to show us how to impact ourselves, that we can impact the kingdom. So, Father, we just invite you in today. Guide us and lead us and touch us and show us your instructions for this moment in this season in our life. Thank you for everyone who came out today. Thank you for everyone who's watching us on Facebook, Father. We thank you that this information will turn into revelation that will turn into some money for those who are hearing today. So we thank you, we honor and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
My name is Pastor Shalonda Johnson, and welcome to Christian Network Entrepreneurs. So we are here today. We have 3 amazing guests that are going to share some information with us, enlighten us, as well as encourage us. So what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce each one of the individuals. They're going to tell us a little bit about themselves, and we're going to ask some questions and kind of just dive right in there. So first we have Pastor Charles Payton, who is the branch manager for People's Bank. Welcome, Pastor Payton. We have Raquel Robinson, Royalty Financial Services LLC, credit repair. So we definitely need her on the we need her on the panel. Amen. And we have Dr. Apostle Lockhart, who is with Heart and Heart Group Insurance. So he's going to tell us about being insurance ready. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to start with Pastor Payton. Tell us a little bit about what you do and what services you offer.
So I'm a branch manager / business development officer at People's Bank. And I help businesses from startup. I help businesses from startup to about $5 million in gross revenue sales. I tell people I help businesses run more efficiently, and help them grow and expand. And so I can do that in areas of lending, whether it be expansions, whether it be commercial real estate, purchasing of vehicles, building build-outs, franchises. We're a preferred SBA lender. I've been in banking for about 16 years. So I'm able to assist clients in those areas. So, yeah.
All right. We're going to come back to you with some more questions. Ms. Raquel, tell us about yourself and what you do.
Yes, so I am the owner of Royal Financial Services, and it is a legally licensed credit repair company. It's actually one of the only African-American legally licensed credit companies in Cleveland. There's one other that I know of that's legally licensed, and I've been in business for about 3 years. And I'm I forgot what she called it.
Parallel.
I'm a parallel entrepreneur, so I am a full-time employee as well. I've been with AT&T almost 20 years. I work in global infrastructure. I assist global businesses with fiber expansion, and then I also run my own business. And not only do I do credit repair, but tax preparation and business credit as well.
Great. Wow. Multi-talented. Dr. Lockhart. Yes, sir. Enlighten us, sir.
All right. Well, my name is Pastor Stephen Lockhart. I've been pastoring for 21 years. Started out in insurances for 10 years ago, primarily dealing with final expense insurances. Pre-pandemic, we opened our own office. Now we are a full-blown broker services. We offer everything from health insurances to full-scale life insurances, from B companies up to A+, A-. We do financial investments as far as rollovers, annuities. God has been good to us. So the business is expanding. I do this now full-time. When I started, it was part-time. So that's about the lay of the land. So you need, but we do mostly education.
Okay.
Teach the people how money really works. We're affiliated with a great company called WSB, and WFG. So we got a variety of carriers, from minor carriers to major.
Got it. Great. Wow. So since you have the mic, just hold on to it for a second. Teach our viewers, take us a little bit down the road if I was a new customer or if I was interested in some insurance information. So take us down like the road as to, you know, your services, kind of break it down a little bit more for us.
It's not really about the services, it's really about your needs.
Okay.
So we want to address all your needs. What is it that you're doing? Have you working knowledge of how money really works? So we want to teach you everything, dynamics from the basics. Most people start backwards. We start investing, but we don't protect. Okay? And the basic thing of how finances work, you need to protect your greatest assets. And the greatest assets is you. So we have to educate. So we take you through, it's not one-step appointments. You know, when we come in, we may have to make 2-3 appointments to where we figure out exactly what you need to do, where you stand. And we use various techniques and the dime method, rule of 72, help you understand how money works and what you really need. And then we being a pastor, I'm going to bring in dynamics of the biblical anyway, because most people only buy insurances for death.
Yes.
And that's a mistake. Most people only get insurance when you're in your 50s, and that's a mistake. You need to get that insurance. The best time to get it is when you're the healthiest. You know, and now we're talking about legacy. We're talking about retirement planning. We work alongside with these people.
Yeah.
We do some dynamics that they offer, but, you know, we just want to make sure that you understand how the money works. Where are you putting your money? What's the best solution for your money? How to escape some of the pitfalls that our government has set up when you invest in certain dynamics. So it's really an educational piece that we take you through, step by step. It's like leading you through, because most people, the Bible said, my people perish for lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
And many of us, Mama said save money, but she didn't say where.
That is true.
Okay, so she didn't tell us how, you know, the best avenues, tax now, tax deferred, tax later. So we want to teach you some of those things that help you make a good choice about what you're doing. And then protect the greatest assets, you.
Yeah.
If you're not protected with, some people don't even realize you need DI insurance. Disability insurance. What happens if you get disabled? And everything you have built up, what happens? You know, so there, others folks, the people who maybe are taking advantage of a lot of things that we, as a people, have not taken advantage of. We have not really been taught how money works. So that's really where our heart throb. Yeah, you just want a burial policy, I'll sell it to you.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm here to serve you. I work for you. So, but if you really want to know something that's going to benefit you, what's your magic number? When you want to start working?
Yeah.
Are you preparing properly? You know, oh, now I'm walking. He told me not to walk in his So
one thing I wanted to
you unleashed the
elaborate.
beast. I'm sorry. Mhm.
One thing I wanted to elaborate on, and I think Charles and we spoke about it previously, is the lack of education when it comes to money, and then not so much even the lack of education, but sometimes these large terms intimidate us. DI and taxes, and they can be very, very intimidating to the average person. I use the analogy as almost like getting naked in front of a stranger. So you provide a service that first educates people. So I think when you're educated, a lot of times you feel a little bit more comfortable about unveiling some things. You feel a little bit more secure about, walking into this particular arena. So the education, you said DI. DI was disability, correct?
Disability insurance, yes, ma'am.
And I think the average person, or at least I would have thought that that's covered when you work for someone. So there's no need to get additional
No.
insurance. So you're saying there is something else offered out there that we can take advantage of.
There's a whole lot more you need to take advantage of. Everything that an employer gives you is a benefit that can be taken away. And the average person does not remain at a job. You know, the average, I think it's 2 to 3 years before they move. And when you move, you're out of a group coverage. And once you're out of a good coverage, the cost will escalate. And now you're standing on your own. And other things come into play. Your health. When you were in a group coverage, it did not come into play. But now you're standing on your own. Now it comes into play. There's a whole lot of things that starts to change as you progress from being a benefit in a company to your own. Okay.
Got it.
So, I mean, there's a lot of protection. If you learn about money, you'll learn that the investment of these particular dynamics or criterias, insurance, is really for your benefit. You know,
Wow.
what's the number one thing that can wipe out all your finances?
Health.
Long-term care.
Yeah.
But we won't invest in a product to cover that.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. That's why events like this is so important, because it enlightens us in areas that we may just didn't know about. It's not the fact that maybe we just ignored it. We didn't know it was available. So now we see all of these avenues that are available. I am sitting here hearing him talk, and I'm thinking in the Rolodex of my mind, I think everyone is doing it too. You're thinking about your kids, you're thinking about your family, and you're thinking about your health. So we're really so excited that you're here. So we're going to come back to you because I got a few more questions. I can pick your brain all day, but we're going to share today.
All right.
Ms. Raquel, so you do credit repair. You said something in the beginning that I just love. You said you were a legal entity.
Yes, legally licensed and bonded.
Legally licensed and bonded. That's a game changer. It's a game changer.
Especially around.
I mean, because everybody's doing credit repair.
They do. And I had no idea that you had to be legally licensed to do it.
Yes.
So again, I just didn't know. But when you thought through that, I was like, okay.
Yes, you actually have to be registered with the Department of Commerce as a financial institution and carry a $50,000 surety bond.
Wow.
So, I mean, you got to go through all type of, red tape to even get to that part. So,
And I can so appreciate that, because as a business owner as well, it lets me know how invested you are in what you do. You just didn't wake up one morning and just get out there, but you put some time and some money and some things up front in order to make sure that you can offer your customers the best service possible.
Absolutely.
So give us a rundown. I'm coming to you. I really don't know a whole lot about what you do. I got some issues in my credit. So how will we interact? What would you do for me?
So first, of course, we would start with a consultation. It's just like going to the doctor. I got to assess what's wrong and talk about what your goals are and see where the problem areas are, so that part of the program is you're going to be educated, number one. And then we'll also be working on clearing up some of those bad blemishes that you've had in your past and helping you to create new good financial behavior is what the program consists of. Educating, working on your past blemishes, and then helping you start new good behavior.
I come in and I got some challenges on my credit report for when I didn't understand money. Let's say that. and we come and we sit down. The credit repair part, is there? Do you do all the work, or as a customer, is there some things that I need to do as well that we work together as a partner?
So it definitely is a partnership, and we are your accountability partner. So as we dispute the negative items on your credit report for validity, accuracy, if it's obsolete, if it's verifiable, at that time we would.
I think they would switch out.
Yeah, we switch it.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yes, at that time, we would also be giving you credit building tools to start your new credit behavior, so that as we're working on your past, you're working on your future. And then we're also educating you during that process.
Got it. Now, I've heard this term thrown around kind of loosely. Trade, I think it's trademarks. Or
Trade lines.
Trade lines. So I've heard this term thrown around loosely. So give us an idea of how that works. Because one thing I do know, you can go on Instagram and you can put that in, and it's no telling which you can get, and you can get one for 30 days. But since you're the legal expert on this, tell us a little bit about, because it's not always on the up and up on Instagram, and we're here to educate ourselves.
Absolutely. We need to know this information because it's very important. When you're purchasing trade lines, I mean, all you're doing is purchasing an authorized user account. It's like you adding me onto your credit card, and then at 30 to 60 days, someone's taking you off. I mean, that's literally, and it will help boost your credit. However, that's just a Band-Aid. That's not taking care of the issue. And that's why, at the end of the day, it's not really going to solve the problem. You need to fix the real issue. You need to build, you can add all the trade lines all you want. You can't cover up terrible credit. You know, at the end of the day, I think of it as like being a criminal. Once you have a felony, it kind of follows you. And until you work to either expunge that or, you know, let time go by, at that time, you'll start to recover and you start new behavior. All of a sudden, you had a felony and now you become the CEO of this company and of this company. You know, then your past starts to, or it eventually falls off, or you disputed it wasn't accurate or something of that nature and you're able to get it resolved, but you start building something up to show that you're no longer that person, you know, is the main thing. But buying trade lines is really not the way to go, because if you have a family member or a friend that wants to add you on as an authorized user, that's great, you know, because that's what people.
Cheaper too, huh?
Yeah, you don't have to pay. I mean, to be honest, because you have to give your personal information to someone for them to even add you on as an authorized user, and you don't really know what they're doing with that information. At the end of the day, once that goes on, that authorized user goes on your profile, you're now somehow connected to that person, and then junk mail starts coming to their home. You know, solicitation mail. So that means credit card offers and things of that nature. And they can actually start getting things in your name you wouldn't even know about it. Wow. So it's very important that you do your due diligence, and that's why it truly wasn't meant for that. It was meant for the home wife to be on her husband's, and for you to add your children and things of that nature to help give them that boost and teach them financial literacy. And it has turned into something else. Don't get me wrong, it will help you. Not as much as it did in the past, because of course, like anything else, they get hip. And the banks have gotten hip. And trade lines they do not carry as much weight as they used to. Wow. And people used to just throw a bunch of trade lines on and go get whatever they want. They're going to be like, yeah, I see these 5 trade lines. That's great, but where's your primaries? Where's your account? Let me see how you pay bills. Wow. And so that's very important that you can have some trade lines, but you need to have your own primaries.
Wow, that is a wealth of information just right there. So you say you've been in business for about 3 years. Tell us, how did you get in this type of business? This is not like the normal type of business. So what brought you there?
So, I mean, even though I've been with AT&T for roughly about 20 years, I actually got fired years ago for a couple of years. I was wrongly terminated. That's how I got my job back. But I was a loan officer for a mortgage company for a couple of years during that time, and I got to see thousands of credit reports. And just seeing how people maneuvered with credit and things of that nature, it just kind of like stuck with me. And then watching my parents, who are everyday people, you know, they didn't make a lot of money, barely made over $50,000, and I watched them build wealth. I mean, they obtained home after home, you know, through the access of credit, all because they paid their bills on time and they managed their credit. And I watched them do things that I felt like, based off of their income, that we really couldn't afford. But it was through the access of credit that my mom would buy things, 12 months no cash, as long as you paid it off, no interest, you know, and things of that nature. I watched her maneuver the credit game. And seeing that, and then also seeing how people maneuvered it with housing and how they refied and cashed out and purchased things and, you know, did different things through the access of credit, it just made me want to help even more. And then I just looked at our community. More than anything, we lack that. We don't need a lot of money. If we had access just to that financial literacy, I feel like it could open the doors to us building wealth. And so that's how I, you know, was like, this is the key.
Wow, that's great. I love the fact that you're talking about credit, but there is a responsible way to use credit where it works on your behalf. Yes. So now that everyone has spoken, and it kind of leads us down to the banker.
Absolutely.
So now we're ready to sit with the banker.
Yes.
We got our insurance together. We make sure something happened. We're good. We got our credit together. Now we're ready to walk through the door and deal with the banker. So that's what we're going to start out with Pastor Charles Payton. So tell us a little bit. You told us about so many things that you do. You're dealing with small businesses as well as large businesses, financial institutions, just so much that you're dealing with. So, hey, I'm coming to your office, say I am a small business owner, and my business is growing, and now I need more capital. At the end of the day, I need more moolah. There is nothing wrong with it. So what do we do?
So it's a few things we got to look at, right? And so you were talking about really kind of going down the line. Yeah, when you come to me, you got to be finished. You come to me, I'm not the guy that's going, you know, I'm not fixing your credit. I'm not doing that. But you know, when it's time to come to the bank, you got to make sure you have everything in a row. You can make sure you have your ducks in a row. Now, of course, I'm going to guide you the right way. You know, I work very closely with Raquel. You know, so if I run into clients that might have some credit challenges once we sit down, and then I can refer people over to her. And just to kind of tell you how I do things, I do have a consultation with you. You know, I sit down with you, I ask you, what are your goals? Like, what are you looking to do with your business? Are you okay with how your business is ran? Then I'm not the person to go to, right? Because you're okay, you're good. But if you're looking to expand, if you're looking to grow, if you're looking to have a succession plan, which a succession plan is, hey, I'm looking to sell my business, or I'm prepping up my business to get it sold, I can help you and assist you and guide you in ways like that, right? So that's pretty much my job. My job is to try to help your business grow more effectively, or grow more efficiently through products and services that we offer at the bank. You know, and that might be, hey, you need some more moolah. Okay, how much money do you need? Because at the end of the day, if you tell me you need 50, and then we get in a project and you need 70, there's nothing I can do. I can't go back. It's almost like we playing cards. I got them in my hand. Hey, we playing poker. When you lay your hand out, it's over. You know, I can't go to the underwriters like, no, I pulled back. We need some more. You have to know how much you need. So you have to be able to have a business plan, not just when you start. You have to have a business plan throughout your business. You should be adjusting that business plan. Okay. You know, just like when COVID hit, a lot of restaurants had to adjust, right? Yeah. Because you can't come in, right? There's only so many people. So what do I have to do? I have to see how can I make revenue? How can I increase my revenue? How can I decrease my expenses? Okay, well, I'm probably gonna have to cut some service, right? Okay, I'm probably going to have to convert the takeout, right? Yeah. So those are the things that we have to continuously do as business grow. A great example is I used to go and get my sounds put in because I used to, I'm just being honest. But it's kind of like a lost art now, right? Because a lot of the cars already come with systems and things like that. But I know of a business that because it changed, they changed. They started doing more mechanical work. So they started doing oil changes and tire repairs and they started hiring mechanics and things like that. So they had a small portion of their business still geared towards putting sound equipment in, but they expanded their business and they changed their business. How do you do that? With a business plan. Yeah. You have to constantly change. You have to be strategic. And so I help you with that, right? So if we need more money, what do we need? Do we need to add a vehicle? You know, if you have a transportation company, you shouldn't have one van. What if your van goes down? Right? Now you only got one van. Now you can't make no money. Right? You need two vans. You need 2 trucks. You cut hair, you need 2 clippers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just being honest. Like you gotta think strategically. If this is the only way that I make revenue, why would I just have one of something? And then now it's down, then I'm down. That's right. So I mean, those are the things that I try to educate us on, and when I say us, our community as well, because there is a gap, there is a financial literacy gap. You know, and I saw that being in banking for 16 years. I saw that. I've sat with SBA representatives and things like that, trying to get monies into the inner city. But unfortunately, we have to get the financial literacy piece first before we get money. Because when you come to me, you have to have good credit.
No way around it.
There's no way around it. I don't have any. You got to understand, when you're dealing with a bank, you're dealing with investors. So you're dealing with shareholders. So if
we're just not coming to bank.
You're not just coming to me. You know, you're dealing with shareholders, and we have to have good paper. And if we have good paper, then we have to have good credit. We have to have good credit on the business side. We have to have good credit on the personal side. Because what I do when I do a write-up, I'm doing a write-up. So whenever I put a business application in, it doesn't take 10 minutes. It takes 3 hours. Because I'm researching that company. I'm writing your story. I need to know your history. I need to know how long you've been in business. I need to know your resume. Sometimes I'll ask people, send me your resume so I can show how strong this individual is, so I can be able to tell the story to a pessimist sometimes when it comes to an underwriter who is looking for holes, and I'm trying to not give them any nick and cranny to be able to go into. I want this to be solid when I push it in. So that application might take 3 hours, might take 4 hours. It might take a few days. You know what I'm saying? Because I have to write a story and I have to tell the story. And when I send that, it's over. So you have to know exactly how much money you need. You have to have your credit together. You have to have all your ducks in a row, because we have to have a package deal, right? So what does that look like? That looks like a balance sheet. Right? So what does that balance sheet mean? Because we're talking bank terms now, because that stuff is like going over your head. Break it down like this. A balance sheet is your list of assets and liabilities. You want your assets to outweigh your liabilities. Absolutely. What does that look like? It's the same thing with your home, right? You know, it's your net worth. A balance sheet is a business's net worth. That's what it is. It's a business's net worth. What is this business worth? So I need that. I need a personal financial statement. What's the personal financial statement? That is your balance sheet as a person. Your liabilities, your assets, what you're worth, right? That's part of the package. Then I need your taxes. I'm not the IRS. Okay? So I'm not looking to see how much you claim, how much you don't claim. But one thing I can't change is what you claim. So if you come in there and you claiming $1,000 a month and you live in Westlake, right? And you want me to get you $200,000 and you keep telling me you can pay it, and I believe you. I believe that you can pay it. I believe that you can pay it. But I cannot change these taxes, okay? I can't. So If you want money, you have to show the ability to pay. So what do? You follow your business plan. So you want to take losses? Take losses. But when it's time to prepare to get some money, you need to show some income. Because that income has to service that debt. That's kind of what I do. Okay, so I actually do that piece. I actually have to put in the formula to be able to show that you have the ability to repay.
Right. And that's really the name of the game with credit or anything else in life.
Right.
You have to be able to show
Cash
that your
flow is king.
responsibility.
Cash is not king, cash flow is king.
Amen.
Oh, I love that.
That's what we gotta
Say that
understand.
slow and one more time.
Cash is not king,
Amen.
cash flow is king.
Amen.
Every
We're
business
always
owner.
trying to have cash flow. So a lot of times people tell you cash is king.
Yeah.
Listen, you can have all the cash in the world.
Yeah.
If you can look, if you don't have nothing coming in,
You don't have cash.
there's nothing I can do. Your net worth is $2 million, but you got 1,000 coming in, and you want me to give you 500,000. You already got it. You're gonna have to take that 500,000 because you can't pay back this 500,000 I'm gonna give you. I don't care how much you're worth. You don't have any cash flow. So cash flow is king.
I love that because I grew up hearing cash is king. So now to have the terminology change for us to understand, it's just a lot more education. So now I know it's not just cash. I need to show a flow of cash, a consistent amount of cash that is coming in. Thank you so much, Pastor Payton. I have a question for Apostle Lockhart. As a business owner, what is the most important insurance you should start with? So I'm this business owner. I need some insurance. What's the most important I should start with?
Insurance on yourself.
I must.
Yep, because you are the main person behind the business.
Yes.
It's called key man insurance. It can go by that terminology, key man insurance. If something was to happen to you, the business would continue. Or that you may have a partnership, someone that you're in partnership with. You need another type of insurance. If survivor insurance, it may be another terminology. That if something happens to one, the other one may be able to assume the business.
So when you say key man insurance, you're not talking about insurance in case I die.
That is exactly what it is.
Is that the same thing? So let's say, I think we talk about the DI. So I get hurt, and that DI insurance would sustain the business, or how would that work?
DI insurance would sustain your paycheck. So that you would get a check in the time of recovery, rehab, or whatever from an injury.
Got it.
Because if you get injured, money just
Yeah.
stops. So it's an investment tool to protect your livelihood.
So after I protect myself, what's the next move as a business owner? I'm all protected, I'm good. As a business owner, what's my next insurance? What should our conversation sound like?
Our conversation should talk about health and probably your employees' insurances.
Okay.
So we do have a few companies that offer group insurances. I mean, if you want to make sure that your employees stay, because if you're not working, they are. And if they ain't happy, they ain't working. So I mean, we got a variety of things that we can talk about here as far as the insurances, but you're going to make sure that you protect everything that you are building. So that's sitting down like the dime theory to figure out how much you need. That if anything happens, everything stays, the quality of life stays in place.
Yeah.
You follow me? You're getting fat and rich, and your family has gotten used to a lifestyle. And you're now, God forbid, is taken out.
Yeah.
Then what?
Absolutely.
Okay? We make a lot of mistakes by not ensuring that that quality of life is sustained. Okay, I have a friend now, she has 5 daycares. She started out progressively. I mean, as she grew the insurance because of the quality of life. You know what I'm saying? So she's right now worth over $1 million. But nobody would ever think to invest like that. And now we're also talking about legacy. We can't do it in our lifetime now, but we can prepare for somebody. Now, that's biblical.
Yes, it is.
Inheritance for your children and your children's children. But we won't make the investment. I walk into so many people who could do better, say, I ain't leaving nobody nothing. I had to get mine. And that's a instead of making an investment, and we have products that you can make an investment to supplement your retirement. I mean, everything's changing, but you have to learn to change with the times.
I love that too, and you talked about how it was so biblical, and we know that David wanted to build his temple, but he wasn't allowed to build the temple. But what David did do is David went around and began to store up and began to prepare. So when his son was going to build the temple, he had everything that he needed.
That's correct.
Everything that he needed. So
While you're there,
yeah.
and and I'm gonna say this: every church needs to ensure their pastors.
Oh wow.
Especially those like us who started it from the ground up.
Amen.
If you want to see 100 years like everybody else, y'all better do something to make sure it stays in place, because when the pastor falls, the ministry falls.
Wow. Is that a service that you offer?
Any insurance to cover. We're not a respected person.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
yes.
I've been around certain people too much today, but okay.
We flow with CNE.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it's you got to. We teach, and without stepping on Raquel's toes, but we teach the second peer after protection is debt elimination.
Yeah.
And then after debt elimination is emergency funding. And that should be up to 6 months of your normal income. And after the emergency funding, then we teach the investment.
So it's not, and I think I've shared this oftentimes with my kids, people don't accidentally become successful. You don't, and media will make you think you accidentally became successful. But people that you see that have sustained wealth, they have done some behind the scenes work. They've met with all of you guys probably at some point in time in their business or their careers in order to sustain wealth. Ms. Raquel, question for you. As a nonprofit organization, do you deal with nonprofit organizations?
Yeah, I mean, credit.
Credit is credit, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't discriminate.
Well, what can I do to build like a business credit?
Yes, so that is a big question that I get a lot when it comes to business credit. And, of course, you want to make sure your personal credit is in order first. But the most important thing that a lot of people don't know about business credit is setting your business up properly. That is the number one thing. Just like you see AT&T, you see Panera Bread, you go look them up. You don't see a cell phone number. You don't see a Gmail. You don't see a Yahoo. Things of that nature. You want to get credit like the big boys, you got to look like the big boys.
Wow.
And, I mean, that is the number one piece, that alone. And once you do that, then, of course, you just start with vendor accounts, and you just continue to just move up the ladder and just build credit on your business that's not attached to your social. And you just keep going and going and going. I mean, some things you will have to step in as yourself and vouch for your business and say, hey, if my business can't pay, I'll pay. And that's when you become what is called a personal guarantee. And you will personally guarantee that I will pay if my business can't pay, because your business really isn't making the money to pay the bills. So your personal credit will step in and vouch for your business.
Okay, great. Thank you. You touched on the personal credit as well. So one of the questions that has come across is, how important is your personal is your credit and your credit report as well as the score? So how important is your score when it comes to your credit report? And you guys both mentioned good credit. So what is considered good credit?
So actually, it's really, the score really does, it matters, but it doesn't matter. It's the content of the file is really what matters. You can have 800 credit score and get denied because you can have an 800 credit score because you got 2 accounts that are reporting good and you've had them for so long, but you look like a baby in the credit world. Because, I mean, just think about it. If you went to the grocery store tomorrow and you're in line and all of a sudden someone in front of you says, oh, I left my wallet in the car. Can I borrow $500 to pay my bill? You just met them. You're not going to let them borrow $500. But if it was your girlfriend that you've known for 25 years, who you've had rapport with, you guys vouched for each other at lunch and different things over the years, you've known her for a very long time, she say, oh, girl, I left my purse in the car. My grocery bill is $500. Can I use your card? You're going to let her use your card. Yeah. So it's the same thing. If you look like a baby in credit, then you're going to be treated like that, you know. So the credit score does not matter. It's the content of the file. And to have a solid file, you need to look like the average consumer. So what does the average consumer look like? We have a mix of credit cards. You have a couple major credit cards. You may have a store card. You may have a Victoria's Secret card. You may have an Express card. You may have a Care credit card because you had to get some dental work. Yeah. You may have a personal loan, a couple of student loans. You'll have a car. You know, you'll have a home. So that's what's considered a good credit mix. Until you have that good credit mix and can show that you can handle a variety of credit, can you pay things where the bill is constantly changing depending on how you use that card? That's a revolving account. An installment account, which is your car note, the payment stays the same over the time. Can you handle paying multiple accounts like that? Installment, you have your personal loan, you have your car note, you have your student loan, you have your home. That's what the average consumer has. Then your credit cards, one bill is $50, one is $25, this one's $30. Can you handle that? So until you can display that, you'll never have a solid, strong credit profile until your credit profile consists of a good mix of those things, because that's what the average consumer maintains.
Wow. So there is a certain thing as good credit.
Absolutely.
So a house, a mortgage is considered good credit.
Because think about it. When you have a home, you've had to go through so much to show that you can handle this big responsibility. Once you have gone through that process, that means they've checked your debt to income, they've checked your credit, they've looked at your bank statements. I mean, they've checked everything. They've done every background check on you. You've shown stability. So once that mortgage hits your profile, it's strong. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Along with the car, along with the student loan, along with a personal loan, and a mix of credit cards. Oh, you got it going on. You know what I'm saying? So that when you have that good mix, I mean, of course you don't want to be in debt. You don't have to be in debt to have those things. Right. You know, you don't have to have credit card debt just because you have those cards. You can buy things and pay it off. You know, so just having that good credit mix is what they're looking for.
I love what you talked about with the credit cards. So I worked at I think it was called MBNA, or it was a credit card place.
I worked
before.
at MBNA.
And I would see women go and they would use their credit card and they would go to Target, because you see all of their transactions. They would buy like maybe a month worth of grocery on their Target card. And then within that, before that month was over, they would pay it
The
off.
grace period.
Yes, they would pay it off. I also worked for JP Morgan in a home equity, and you would see that there would be individuals who have, let's say, a $80,000 home equity, and they would, you know, buy something, or a house or a car, and what they would do is they would almost max it out. But before that 30 days was over, that's when they were giving 0% interest. They would flip whatever they were doing, pay it back, never pay interest. And only thing JP Morgan would do is want to increase their credit line. That's all they would do. Increase their credit line. I mean, so that is really great. I would really, I think these seminars and what you guys are talking about is so important. I really wish it was taught in school, because I think if we started it at a very young age, that they would grow up and have a better understanding as to what that looks like and how you can be financially responsible.
Absolutely.
I think the kids use a term like put some respect on my name.
Absolutely.
So we have to learn to put respect on credit and put some respect on money's name. I'm going to open it up to the audience. Is there anyone in the audience that have a few questions before I jump into these last few questions that we have? Any questions? No? Okay, we're gonna keep rolling. So let me ask you another question before we go further. So let's say I've had some challenges previously in my credit. I'll come to you, we've ironed everything out, but I gotta start all over again. So what does starting all over again? So you hear so many things in the streets. Do I get a secure credit card? Nobody's willing to take a chance on me now. And I don't want to keep applying because that's more inquiries, right? So how would you advise our audience as well as our Facebook audience, how do I start over?
So, I mean, it depends on what's going on with your credit profile, because a lot of times, even though you may have to start over, you may have something in your past that was good that's, giving you some type of a score. And depending on that, some second chance banks like Capital One is known as a second chance bank. They'll give you a $200 limit or $500. They'll take a chance on you. So just depending on where your credit profile is, you may qualify for an unsecured card with a lot of the second chance banks. And if you have to get a secured card, get a secured card. I mean, that's you putting forth that effort, showing that you want to change your behavior. And if you can't manage your own money, how are you going to manage somebody else's money? So definitely getting a secured card is great. Trying out some of the second chance banks, and then also getting a secured loan. There's different places like Self-Lender or even going to a bank. I know credit unions and different things like People's Bank, they offer what is called a secured loan, and you would just put a certain amount of money in the bank, and it's you they're just going to give it right back to you because it's you letting yourself borrow some money, and then it's going to report to all three of your credit bureaus. Every time you make a payment, they're just going to give you your payment back because you're making a payment to yourself. So, I mean, it's really a win-win situation. You put the $500 in about 72 hours, they give you the $500 back, and then you make payments every month. Every time you make a payment, it just goes right back into your account. I mean, and that reports because it's you showing, hey, I can let myself borrow some money. And I mean, you can do that with a couple of different banks, to get you a couple of different accounts. And some banks don't even pull your credit to do a secured loan. So that's pretty good for you to do. And then, there's different other credit building tools that are out there that are available for you to get that may use just your, like Grain, for instance. They use just your bank account. And you connect your bank account, and they'll give you a line of credit based off of what's in your checking account. And then you can borrow some of that money, and that'll report to the credit bureaus on how you manage that money that they let you borrow just based off of your checking account. And they don't pull any inquiries on your credit either. So just utilizing some of those tools and resources to minimize the inquiries, but even in the building stage, you're going to have to get some inquiries. Yeah. I mean, and that's okay because you're in the building phase. And so, I mean, you're already low. So an inquiry, it's only 10% of your score anyway. Right. So it's not that big of a deal. The main piece is payment history and utilization. 192 points just on how you pay your bills on time. 165 points just on how you're managing those credit cards. So those two categories alone are huge, whereas inquiries is only 55 points. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And one inquiry isn't going to kill you. 3 inquiries isn't going to kill you. And then it only lasts for 2 years. After about a year, it's really not affecting your score that much. So the main thing you want to focus on is never being late because that is the most damaging thing you can ever do. I mean, literally, I've seen people have very good credit and their credit score dropped 150 points. And it's because the higher you are, the bigger the fall. Because it's like if you're late and you have very good credit, you must really be in trouble. Because, and especially if you are late on a mortgage, if you're late on your home, you must really be in trouble. And then, believe it or not, your creditors are always checking up on you, and seeing how you're managing your credit, not just with them, but with everybody. So they're always soft pulling your credit and just seeing how, checking their assets. And they see all of a sudden you late on something. Oh, they're like, let me protect my assets. Let me restrict your limit. Let me close your account. Oh, you just got a repo. You might go max out your credit card. So let me, protect my money. So they're always soft pulling your credit and checking to see how you're managing your accounts with everyone because they want to make sure they protect their assets. So all of a sudden you're in trouble, you're going to go haywire.
It's on the business
So-
side, too.
This is just absolutely amazing.
So
'Cause I never knew that they could do that.
Oh, yeah.
To go in and
Oh, yeah. So that's why it's very important, especially now with COVID. I mean, you've been able to pull your credit reports for free every week. You know, due to COVID-19, you can go directly to the credit bureau sites and pull your credit reports for free. And you can look at every single bureau every single week. And you can look to see insurance companies are pulling your credit. I mean, all type of people are soft pulling. It doesn't affect you, but they're soft pulling this. That's how they decide to send you some of that solicitation in the mail, because they're soft pulling and they're looking at you. Not only are your actual creditors doing it, but other people are doing it. Collection companies are doing it. They all of a sudden see you starting to clean your credit up. Oh, they like, oh, she must got some money. Let me hop on her credit report. Because she might pay us.
Now, you know what? I know that is so accurate. I know that is so accurate because we were purchasing the home that we're in now. It was stuff was coming out the woodworks.
So they see a mortgage inquiry. They know you're the most motivated consumer out there because they know you want that home and you'll do whatever to get in that home. So a mortgage inquiry pops on, they're jumping on your credit report.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I mean, this has been amazing. if no one else needed this, I needed this today. So we are running out of time. Pastor Payton, I'm going to throw this question out, and I need you to answer this question in 2.1 seconds.
All right, you got a time.
And
You
then
know, talking.
we're going to have everyone give us some closing remarks after that. So how important is it to have a personal relationship with your banker? Kind of like our relationship?
It's I think you need three people, okay? You need a good banker, you need a good lawyer, and you need a good accountant. I said you need those three things, and I'm going to throw in insurance too. So I'm four people. Yeah, but I mean, you need those. You know, if you're gonna have a business, you need those guys, and they should work together. You know what I'm saying? Like I work like a lot of my business owners. I work good with their CPAs. You know, I work good with their insurance people. I had to get a key man policy the other day. I was like, look, I need a key man policy. I need this right now so I close this loan. Get this to me right now.
Networking.
So it's imperative to have a good relationship with your banker. You know, for the simple fact that I should know exactly what you're intending to do in the future, so I can assist you and guide you in that. You know, from a financial perspective.
Great. You close it up really quick. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, preachers can go. They can go no matter what topic it is.
We got an hour and a half in this all the time.
Apostle Lockhart, give us some closing remarks. What you want to leave the people with before we sign off?
What would I want to tell people? Take the time and sit down. Give yourself time to learn. You know, so many times I walk in the house and they just want to rush. But there's some things in rushing you always miss that may be important. And don't take insurance lightly. Don't wait too late. Because number one, you get sick. Anything can disclude you. So it's so disheartening to walk in the house. And that's probably why I expanded the business. So I don't walk in the house and not be able to help somebody. So I got all kinds of insurances. Even if you got a background, we got a courier. Because a lot of the people that got backgrounds are they do their time, but they're still doing their time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, take the time and investigate. Take the time to learn so that you'll know how it can benefit. No, it doesn't benefit you directly, but it does benefit you directly. Because if you got children, you got loved ones, that should be your main priority, to make sure if something happens, they're well off.
One last thing. No matter how much money I make, there is something that I can afford or start off with insurance. Is that correct? Because a lot of people think they don't make enough for insurance.
That's where learning and taking the time to learn.
Got it.
Just had a lady call. How much insurance? I wrote the insurance up. I said $15. 21-year-old. She just wanted a policy for her nephew. Blew her mind. Yeah. You can't let the phobia of things avert you from doing what you know you need to do.
I love that. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so it's there. I mean, it's there, and we have a full productive line. So by that I mean I have over 15 major couriers I walk with. If I can't get the job done, I shouldn't be in the business.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your wealth of knowledge and information, Ms. Raquel.
I would have to say be intentional. You know, we have to do our due diligence. More than anything, I feel like credit, whether it's personal or business credit, is about reading. You know, quit walking into the car dealership and just signing. And we don't even know, you know, what we're signing away or anything like that. We don't know what the terms are. You know, just because they say that you can get it, you know, it may be unfavorable terms. And also just not doing things when you're not financially ready, because it costs you. You know, if you're not in position to truly afford something, don't go get that 20% interest rate. Maybe you need to catch the bus, humble yourself, bite the bullet, you know, save up $1,000, buy that beater while you're working on your credit so that you can get something that's affordable, that's on favorable terms, because it's so sad and unfortunate to see people with 20-something% interest rates and they can't get out of the car, you know, or they can't invest in their business because they're in all of this stuff that's upside down loans that they've taken to invest in their business, that they, you know, there were highway robbery, merchant cash advances, you know, and things of that nature that you see business owners get caught up in because someone say, I can get you $50,000, but you have a 500% interest rate, or like this is literally 500%. You know, so we have to do our due diligence and we have to read, you know. So more than anything, I want to tell people, be intentional and read and don't just sign things away and ask questions and try to educate ourselves as much as possible, because credit is so important. I mean, you can't get a cell phone. Everybody needs a cell phone. You can't get a cell phone without credit. So, I mean, it's the lifeline of our lives. You know, you need it. So it's very important.
Yes, sir.
She touched on it, I want to say it. Learn what the rule of 72 is.
Oh, wow. The rule of 72.
And it works opposite with credit.
Yeah.
She said 500%. You divide it by 72, you'll find out how long it's going to take you to pay it off. Wow. The creditors use it to keep you in debt.
I've seen businesses
We use it to
go
show you
out
how
of
to
business.
grow your money.
I've seen businesses go out of businesses because of merchant loans.
Yeah.
And it's all because of your credit.
They're taking money every time a customer swipes. They're taking money. They're taking money per swipe, where they're paying $500 and $600 a day. A day.
It's crazy.
A day. A day for $50,000 up front.
Wow.
So, and I mean, it all boils down to financial literacy and your
Absolutely.
credit. Like,
For
it
sure.
really, truly is a game changer. And just like how he said, cash, you know, is definitely important. Cash is king, credit is queen. Cash flow changes the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And I think we have to get to the mindset that just because it's offered doesn't mean it's something that we got to have just right now. Unfortunately, a few of us, including myself, have had to bump my head to understand that the car is not going nowhere. It's not going anywhere. So now
they're not going out of business.
Exactly, they're just not. And it's so funny because I had a conversation with my daughter, and she's just trying to map out life. And she was talking about, well, I think when I get 21, I'll be able to afford $1,600 for my apartment. I said, for an apartment? Paying my mortgage. Like, you know, but I had to sit down with her. And because what she did is she seen someone on Instagram, and they had this beautiful apartment, and they had this, and they had that. And I had to get her to understand, like, you don't know with $1,600 how to come up with $1,600. and how it could weigh heavy when you have life going on. So we had to really talk about that. And $1,600 to rent somebody's stuff, I said, let's stop everything we're doing and have a conversation. So even looking at that, because look, our kids are seeing that, but a lot of us as adults have made those pitfalls, have made those type of errors. And it's kind of just like grace, like, okay, God, you gave me another chance, so I thank you for this next chance with my report, my credit report. And this time, not only will I do better, I'll teach better. Yeah. I'll show the next generation how to do it right. Yeah. So just because mama went through it, don't mean you got to go through it.
And I'm gonna have my credit in order to where I can add you on.
Add you on, yes. Because my daughter started asking questions like, "Mommy, can you put me on your credit card?" I said, where you learn about that from? But she's inquisitive about how she gets a good start off in life. I'm gonna have her sit down with you guys one time.
Yeah, my son just want to use your credit card. He don't want to get added to nothing. Can I get your credit card?
So,
my son want to be on.
and it's just like I said, it's amazing. It's amazing knowledge. I'm so grateful just for you guys coming on, Pastor Payton. So we're gonna close out with you and give us some kind of nuggets as what you would like the people to know and to hear. Oh, before we go any further, actually, you and I did a live together. I think maybe was it earlier this month? I believe. I ran into a lady that watched the live. She sent me an inbox and she wanted to know about one of the banks that you were talking about. I think it was the Hebrew
Free Loan Association.
The Hebrew Free Loan Association. She inboxed me. She was asking me about it, and I thought that was phenomenal because what that says is that this is working. Yeah. What that says is that it may not look like people are tuning in, but they're getting it. And she was like, "What's the name of that place? The Hebrew place?" I had to remember myself. Like, oh, okay. So the information that you guys are giving out is something that they're changing people's lives. Yeah. It's making people look at things differently because when you're not financially secure and your credit is not where it needs to be, you almost walk through the earth a little nervous all the time. Mm-hmm. I don't want to walk into a car dealership pleading the blood. I want to go to the car dealership with my head up and not have to look down. Yes.
Not in there for 5 hours.
Not in there for 5 hours trying to figure life out.
Exactly. And when somebody's been in there all day, they struggling.
Right.
No, I want to go online and order my car and go pick it up.
Right.
So with this information, we'll position ourselves accordingly. So Pastor Payton, we're going to leave it up to you. Come on and give us some last bit tips.
I mean, I would just say, it's so much information up here, and from insurance, from credit repair, from establishing or maintaining business. It's a wealth of knowledge, and you want to make sure you want to make sure you implement it, because it's one thing to have wisdom, but it's another thing to use wisdom. We could have all the information in the world, but if we don't do anything with it, it doesn't matter. So it's so important for us to take these jewels, take these nuggets, and put them to use right away. Put them to use right away. Reach out to your insurance carrier. Reach out to Apostle Lockhart. Reach out to Raquel or myself, and get on that path. I tell people when they say, "Well, should I open up the account?" When you make $1. As soon as you make $1 from no business, you need to start opening an account. You need to really start regulating and see, like, what is this? You've already proven the concept works because somebody purchased your product or they purchased your service, so it's time to open it up. Now, you might not register with the state, get an LLC, or get an EIN, but maybe you just open up a personal account and just use it until it grows. And so that's what I would say, my tidbits, my nuggets, work the plan so you can work the plan.
Yeah. So how do we reach you? How do we get in touch with you? And in case y'all don't know, Pastor Payton is my business banker. He's my business banker. He said something to me when we sat down at the table, and we were talking some numbers, and I immediately got intimidated. Because he was talking all of these numbers, and he sat down, we talked, he told me how things was going to go in my business and what to be prepared for, and literally, like, last week, we experienced exactly what he said. So each of the individuals are going to tell us how do we get in contact with them. But I want to leave one other thing. These are just not individuals. These are our pastors, our believers, or these are Christians that before they do anything else, they have the code of conduct as that we do right as believers. Absolutely. So you don't have to worry about them scamming. You don't have to worry about them not doing right by you, because they understand that at first they're going to have to account to God for everything that they do. So we have these people that have been put in place. God has strategically put them in place to be able to help us, and we can be confident that they have a good heart. So Pastor Payton, where can we meet you at for an appointment?
You can.
You got openings Monday?
I got openings, so you can reach me at 216-910-0587. That's my office number. Our office is on Chagrin Boulevard, 24400, Beechwood, Ohio, 44122, People's Bank. So, yep, you know, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm constantly on there as well, you know, so if you want to instant message me, and we can set up a date and time so we can meet.
God. Let them know you got his information from CNE. Miss Raquel, how can I find you?
So you can give us a call at 800-507-4599, or you can visit our website, www.royalfinancialservices.com, and schedule a free consultation. And we'll be happy to assess your needs. So, and restore your credit to royalty.
Royalty, I love it. Apostle.
Call you. No, I'm sorry. All right, you can reach us at www.h2hinsuranceGroup.com. We even allow you to establish a preset appointment, or you can give me a call at 216-762-1824. We float, we Zoom. We're now starting to come back out since we've been vaccinated and all that other good stuff. No set office at this time, but we will come to you.
Got it. So you have all of their information here. We have this wealth of knowledge that you have gotten on today. Please be proactive. And I just definitely want to encourage you not to be intimidated. Everybody got to start somewhere. And these guys here are the perfect people to start with, because not only are we responsible, and not only do our spirit man have to be in alignment, but our natural man, our natural finances, those things are something that we need to take care as well. And we got these great people here to help us along the way. Guess what? I found out you don't have to do nothing on your own.
Right.
Nothing on your own. That's what these guys are here for. So we want to thank you guys so much for coming out. We want to thank our panelists. Come on, let's put our hands together for our panelists. Thank you for coming out and sharing your time. Thank you for the viewing audience that have come on and engaged with us. Please make sure if you have any questions, put them in the comments. Put them in the comments. We are on live on Facebook. So put them in the comments. We'll make sure each individual gets the questions that you may have, because it is our intent that we all are successful and on what we need to do. 1 second. We have some other information. So if you are interested in donating to CNE, $CNE for net. See, I got help. I told you have to do nothing on your own. Just to put it in. That's good. So, and consider donating. This is the reason why. It's because this information, people normally pay for this.
Yeah.
They pay to sit down to have consultations. This is their livelihood. This is how these individuals eat. But they're giving of their time, they're giving of their knowledge so that we can all be financially strong and we can all be what God has called us to be. So support this ministry. It's a ministry as well. So support this so we can go in and continue to have more events like this. In September, there will be another event. So if you did not come out this month, you should be out here in September. We get a chance to fellowship with other individuals, to network. I love this saying, if you don't network, you don't work. I want to say you don't eat. You got to network, and you got to get out, and this is a safe place to do it. This is a safe place to do it. If you are interested in being on the show, if you have a business, if you are an entrepreneur or community leader, and you want to showcase your business on CNE, then you can email us at
CNE.
CNE.
The email?
NET. You know what? Inbox us. Inbox us. I asked them too fast. Inbox us. We have a really great lineup that is going to be coming up. It's starting in June, where we're going to be doing some interviews, pouring in more information on all different topics. So if you have a business and you want to get your business out there, inbox us. You can inbox Pastor Teresa McCurry. You can inbox myself, Shalonda Williams-Johnson. You can inbox Charles Payton. And we will get you what you need. Miss Terry, are you on? Yes, you are. Yes. Terry Sylvester. Inbox us. We'll get you what you need. We'll reach out to you, and we can get you on the show. So we thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks.